Hello friends, welcome to my channel Easy Study with Antara, and here we are going to learn today the most important topic for competitive exams, that is Charter Act of 1833. Now in the previous videos I have explained the Charter Act of 1813 and the Charter Act of 1793. You could see those videos for better understanding. Now this Charter Act of 1833, it's very important. If you see from the competitive exams perspective, you will find plenty of questions used to come from this particular area. And in all my videos I always used to make a very short, like in gist, for like so that you can remember the topics well, with a very not much in writing content. Like in gist I have written the whole thing of Charter Act, the important features. You can see not even a half page. So here let's move on. What does this Charter Act mean? This act brings social political changes in British society. So the first thing this Charter Act brings the social and political changes in the British society. And it also gives the East India Company the license to trade for the next 20 years. That means from 1833 to 1853. For the next 20 years, it gave the East India Company the power or the right to trade. Now, and you see here I have written another point, that is final step towards concentration in British India. Means the British crown is little by little kind of getting the hold over India. First, the East India Company came to India for business purpose and they are kind of taking power in their hand. Later, the British Parliament, that is the British Crown, is wanted to take control over the East India Company. And this is the final step, after which little by little the Crown had already taken control over the East India Company. How? You will see that. Now the features. What are the features of this Act of 1833? First of all, here in this act, through this act, the Governor General of Bengal became the Governor General of India. Before there were only General of Bengal, Madras and Bombay, isn't it? Then the Governor of Bengal became the Governor General of Bengal, means he will have more power than the Governor of Madras and Bombay. And now this Governor General of Bengal, he became the Governor General of India. So this one has been made, this changes, this new thing has been made through this act. Then William Bentinck was the first Governor General of India. If you see from the exam perspective, this is the one you can remember, that who became the first Governor General of India, that's William Bentinck. Now here added 4 members to Governor General Council for legislative purpose. In order to rule over the country, they need legislative purpose, and for that 4 new members were added to the Governor General's Council. And Lord Macaulay is the first person of the council. Okay, so he is the first one of the who was the member of the Governor General's Council. And he has also started this Lord Macaulay's Minute, and even called the Magna Carta of Education. That one I will give a detailed study about him in later videos. Now this Governor of Bombay and Madras, they were deprived of legislative powers, means they don't have any power at all. This Governor General of India, he hold all the powers in his hand. And it was the time when this Indian civil service founded. Indians were allowed to sit for examination and to hold office later on. Means this is the first time. Before none of the Indians were allowed to give this civil service examination. No, whether they are the Indians were educated, well talented, but still they were not given any right to sit for this civil service examination. Why? Because they are Indians. And the Britishers, they used to think themselves as superior, as if like they are the only educated ones. So they never allowed the Indians to sit for the examination. They kind of discriminate the Indians. But during this Charter Act, through this Charter Act, it was first time allowed that Indians were also given this right to sit for civil service examination, and if they pass the examination, they can also work for the British government, and they can also hold means like superior post or the respectable post in the British government. Before, they were not allowed, Indians were not allowed to hold any good post in the British government. They were only allowed to do some mere lower type of work, like work as servants, all such things. But through this act, they are being allowed, Indians are being allowed to hold high post as well. Then East India Company became administrative body, ended commercial activities and functions. So this East India Company, their means like they have now became only the political ruler. Means no more the business company. They were that were doing business, that were doing trade in India. No more they were doing that. They fully became the political kind of rulers who were this governing the administrative body. And during this time, there were like this slavery was also being abolished completely, means like off, in the year 1843. Through this act only, slavery was also being abolished. These are the features of Charter Act of 1833. I hope this will help you to remember the things in gist. Now we will move on to another important Charter Act, that is Charter Act of 1853. So here this act states that law members made permanent members of Executive Council of Governor General. GGen means, in short I have written there, it means Governor General. Those who are preparing for competitive exams, you can make your kind of abbreviated terms, okay, short forms you can make, so that you can save some time of writing in a lengthy way. So this Charter Act of 1853, the law members were made the permanent members of the Executive Council. And this Governor General's consent is a must for all legislative purpose. All the legislative purposes were being done. The Governor General's permission, like his consent to be taken, is a must. Then Chief Justice of Supreme Court of Calcutta must be an ex officio member of the council. Now there was another rule that is implemented through this act, that the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, that was in Calcutta, the Chief Justice has to be the ex officio member of this council, this Executive Council. If he won't be a member of this Executive Council, he has no right to be the Chief Justice of Supreme Court. This was a hard and fast rule. So this is important. You must remember this. The council's legislative capacity was of 12 members. So the council is of how many members? 12 members. And who are these 12 members? First one is Governor General, Commander in Chief, then 4 members from the Executive Council, plus 6 legislative members. Altogether there are 12 members. So this is also important, like who are the members that were that were there in the Legislative Council. So these are the things you must remember. I hope it helps you. Thank you.